This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
And welcome to Off the Break Podcast. I'm Cody, and with me are Kyle and my life partner, Ken. Oh, did I not mention that I'm married to him?
She finally admits it.
Finally admits it. I leg shackled myself to that train.
She did
that caboose right there.
She did say it a couple of times prior to you showing
Right.
up on the podcast finally, but didn't mention it when you first appeared.
For continuity's sake, we are an attachment, a couple.
As a couple. Yes.
Whether it's at work or at home.
I had my husband come work with me in the office for, it's been over a year now.
Who is he? Have I met him?
Well, whoever he is, he's been doing a killer job.
Killer job. Husband, partner, baby daddy.
Stone cold. Killer job. That's rad, man.
That's rad.
Okay, so now I'm glad we got that out of the way because he was giving me a lot of flack for that.
It was an in-office discussion.
Yeah.
And out-of-office discussion, probably.
Probably should have been, but not in this little office. I think Kyle really misses Eric. He's like, what have I gotten into? Mommy, Daddy, don't fight.
We all miss Eric.
Hasn't been any gain up on me yet, though, so I'm good with this so far.
Right. Yeah. But just awkward in the middle. Awkward proximity.
It
probably.
could be a good way of describing that.
Yeah.
But it could bloom into something else more wonderful.
Maybe we'll have an off the break podcast baby now. This will just propel us.
Please no.
Please no.
I was what?
Okay, fine. Fine. No more babies.
Why are we talking about this? Okay.
Because you're my husband.
That's
I get to talk
Kyle,
about
you
this
saw
now.
Invisible Man
I
last
did
night?
see Invisible Man. Thank you, Ken.
I will
And
make it so awkward for you.
Already-
Don't push me again.
Already feeling the heat.
believe me, I'm feeling it all right now too.
Okay, we'll be professional now. Okay, Kyle.
Invisible Man.
How was it?
A lot better than I expected it to be. I didn't really know what to think of this movie working as well as it did, but it was a better turnout. The hopping music playing in the background.
I'm sorry. My cell
No, it's
phone went
fine.
off.
It's 2 points from
I know.
Gryffindor.
It mostly came from the directing. The directing this was really good and was really able to make you kind of feel nervous and have a lot of creepy undertones when it came to the character of the Invisible Man, which I really appreciated. And from the main actress, Elizabeth Moss, I believe it is. She carries the movie, and she does a really great job at playing a victim of abuse who feels like she's being hunted down by her ex, who is possibly invisible. And how does that happen? I can't tell you, but
No spoilers.
no spoilers here.
Till next week.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah, I thought it actually was a pretty good turnout for a remake of this horror character.
Well, it has like a 90%, I think, or 90 something on Rotten Tomatoes. So I was actually surprised by that.
Yeah, me too. I didn't expect it to be that well praised.
Yeah.
I assumed anyone invisible would just avoid Elizabeth Moss. But yeah.
That's a fair assumption.
Apparently he just annoys her throughout the movie and moves things and
Ken
spills
thinks she's
water.
a real uggo.
She is terrifying to
As
look
the
at.
term has been
I'm sorry.
coined here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, she's terrifying to look at. No interest in her as a leading person.
Well, her acting is very good.
No, you can
if
be a
that
great
helps.
actor. So is Javier Bardem, but nobody's lighting a candle in his name
That you know of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
anyone's ever heard of.
Except Penelope Cruz.
That's right. She's with him.
She's married to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not think of that.
Has anybody checked her vision lately or checked in on her to make sure she's okay?
I'm sure she wears glasses. It's fine.
I'm sure she's fine. She's a big girl. She knows what she's doing.
But yeah, I came out of The Invisible Man feeling like it was actually a pretty good remake, a very more modern horror thriller type of movie.
Nice. I can't wait till after the podcast so I can ask you all the questions that I want to know about it.
Sure.
But don't want to go see it to find out myself. Just terrible. I just don't like the domestic abuse stuff. I just don't like that.
No, that's fair. I don't think a lot of people will really want to see that, but
Yeah.
it's handled well, I feel like.
Nice.
Very respectful.
Speaking of respectful and handled well, all the reviews have come back for My Hero Academia, and it sounds like it's a great version of what we've been seeing as far as anime in theaters.
Yeah, Kyle went and saw that too.
I did.
He's a big anime nerd.
I am a fan of the show, actually. So it was
Nice.
really fun to see this in a theater with a couple of fans. Pretty much the movie called Heroes Rising. It's for the fans. It's for the fans who are up to date on the show. Newcomers could probably get a handle of what's going on, but it's really not for them to begin with. They'll probably have to watch the show. But it really just embodies what the show is all about, and it focuses on the two main characters really well and develops their relationship moving forward. I don't really have too much to say because you guys don't really know much about the show, and probably our audience doesn't know much about the show as well. But I think it will play well because there is a strong fan base here, and I think they will come out for it.
What's interesting about that film is that it's being distributed in a very precise way. They have targeted select markets that they know will do well, and they are regulating it down to the showtime. So it's only was supposed to play Wednesday, and then Friday, Saturday, and then the following Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. It's not a traditional regular release. It's not going to get regular showtimes. It's very targeted. And I think that, we might see more of that as we add things like artificial intelligence and data-driven bookings into that you'll see more of that targeting based on demographics and timing. So it's kind of interesting how data has really shifted the booking strategy on some of these films. It's not going to work for everything, but
Right.
I mean, they really know where these kind of films work at.
Is that happening, or did that happen with Dragon Ball Broly last year?
Yep, Dragon Ball Z, Broly.
That was
whatever.
a big success for the same distribution company, and they followed a similar program, added a few places, but for the most part, they're just trying to hit home runs in every place they play it. They're not looking for medium successful runs. They want places that are going to do big numbers on it only.
How do we see this performing then?
It did really good, I
It
think.
did $1.5 million on the first night, and we'll see more
And that's
on
just
Fridays
one night
and
one showtime, I think.
Yeah, so just a Wednesday one showtime did $1.5 million, which is more than anything else did Wednesday by almost double. So
which is why they probably chose those days, like Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Right. And then only certain showtimes. You don't need to. I think they just know that people aren't going at 3:00 in the afternoon Saturday, that they're leaving room open for the big commercial product to be dominant in those times it's dominant, and just try to pick up and find its own window. Which for the theater, if you were lucky enough to get one, it was a great gross. It was great to have that business on normally a slow night.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, Kyle grew up in the right time to get excited about anime when you can stream and watch episodes back to back. I grew up in the Cartoon Network days when they would show Dragon Ball Z at one time at 3:30 every day, and it would be one episode in the series, and you get one episode every day. And then for 2 weeks, you'd watch every single episode, and it would be the same continuing fight for 10 episodes. And
as most animes do.
And then you'd miss Monday, and 3 different things would start on Monday. So when you'd walk in on Tuesday after school, it'd be like, so they're missing characters because they died at the end of the fight that you missed on Monday.
Yeah.
And so, I missed the anime train after that because I was like, no, I don't have time for this, watching one episode a day.
Yeah, it kind of seems like, especially modern animes now, they're kind of fit more for a streaming platform. But that's also the structure of all those types. Like a fight can draw on out for 10 episodes, 15 episodes, it'll feel like.
What's also interesting about My Hero was they had a Japanese version. So for the purists out there was a version for them.
A subtitled and a dubbed version.
Yeah. I saw the dubbed version.
Yeah.
For those who were asking.
Is that weird? Is that what you think it is, where the mouth moves but the words don't match up?
It's the English translation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
I would
were the best.
Find that distracting.
Those are the best of like the 80s action movies where the bad guy would be of Asian descent, and they wouldn't have him speak English. They would just have him speak whatever language he spoke, whether it was Cantonese or Mandarin, and then they would just dub a voice over his face while he was fighting Chuck Norris. Like, yeah, just say something, and then we'll figure it out in post.
Yeah, I don't think that modern audiences are so adverse to subtitles. Like,
Probably
maybe they used
probably
to be.
not. No.
After Parasite, after
I
that
don't
did
think
as
that
well
was
as it
the
did.
one. I think it had been just building up
Yeah.
to that. But
No, we watch shows with subtitles on in our house because of our kids.
yeah, when we can't have the TV volume on, we put the subtitles on.
That's a
and
little
just-
different than translating a movie.
Well, we're used to it now. We do what we do.
Yeah. You're technically watching silent films now.
We are.
Interrupted by screams.
Yeah.
What kind of house of horrors do you think we live in? Screams.
With children in a house, like skin is crawling.
Yeah.
They
I mean, they're happy. They're happy, playful screams.
They do what?
Yeah.
They talk
They're not
during
screams
a
of
movie?
terror.
Are you kidding me?
It's terrible. Don't have kids.
You'll never go to the movie again.
Yeah, I want to avoid that.
Avoid it for as long as you can.
Mhm.
All right. Well,
Speaking of avoiding things,
yeah.
Bob Iger is going to be avoiding his CEO desk at Disney moving forward.
Yeah.
Filling in the Eric transitions is perfect.
job.
Because that's exactly how he would have done it.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best Eric impression right now.
Yeah. So Bob Iger just was like, I'm out. And this guy's taking over.
Yeah, it's they are replacing a Bob with another Bob.
Yeah.
I believe Bob, what's his name? Chapek? Bob
Yeah.
Chapek. He was like the head of the Disney parks.
Right.
And I guess he's going to be soon taking over as CEO.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's almost immediately. And then Bob Iger is going to transition to just a chairman board position.
But is he still like kind of running things until 2021? I believe that's when his contract ends.
I think that he's in that chairman position until then, but I think Bob Chapek is fully taking over.
Okay.
Just a total mic drop. He's like,
Yeah.
It really was.
Well, I think he had been trying to retire for several years, and it kept getting pushed off, and then new acquisitions fell on his lap with the Fox, and then the whole Disney Plus streaming platform he had to oversee. And I think now that they hit their streaming membership target, the Fox transition is fully done, and he's looking at a pretty weak release schedule compared to previous years. He's like, I'm going to go out on top, guys. Goodbye.
Yeah, it is good timing on his part. He did it well.
can't do much better than that. He
Yeah.
was John Elway diving in the end zone in the Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
And
then
then
it's like,
he
"All
could
right,
always
I'm
say,
out."
he could always say, I left Disney stock at this height. And then whatever Bob Chapek does is on him now this year.
Yeah, true. If anyone comes up to Iger, he's going to be like, hey, talk to the new guy. I'm barely working here right now.
Poor Bob doesn't have an Avengers or a Star Wars film or anything to.
He'll have to find the next one.
Oh no, he can step back in when they like reboot Iron Man or something. He'd
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, it's not working out. Oh, I'll come back."
Do you think now that
Yeah.
since he
in time.
was the head of parks, he's now going to try and reboot the parks into like movies again, like they did in like the early 2000s?
I don't know. I think because he's been lots of places in the company. He was like home entertainment,
Yeah.
parks. He's been through a lot of divisions. I think what I've read is that he's a real numbers cruncher and stuff, and he might need that this next year without the film slate that they have.
Yeah, probably.
So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if it changes the corporate culture at all.
I was just going to ask you if it changes the corporate culture or if it changes the theatrical releases at all in any way.
I'm sure there'll be some shakeup down the road because there always is adjustments in the release schedule. Those are never super set in stone. But I'm whenever you get somebody that is described as a numbers cruncher, I always get really concerned about that because they usually try to find low-hanging fruit to improve the company stock, and so I don't know how that's going to affect film rental, sales policies, that sort of thing. I don't ever know if it's ever good. when accounting gets involved.
Yeah.
It could be as extreme as, changing windowing, and because there's money to be made on VOD that we're waiting to get. Why are we waiting 90 days to get all this VOD money from Frozen when we get it 30 days out? Or
it could be like, why are we having this many prints in the market? Why don't we just target these select things and then get more quickly to streaming platforms?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm sure you won't really see a big change, anything dramatic, for several more months. I mean, they were pretty slow with the Fox merger. You didn't see big shifts in that for a while.
And those are the extreme versions.
I think this guy is the one that is kind of one of the early architects of the whole vault theory, where you put them away in the vault to create the demand.
Oh.
Also to keep the racial undertones at bay.
Try to avoid those controversies.
From all your old-fashioned animated movies that may cause issues now in 2020. It's in the vault.
It's in the vault, hidden, so you don't have to witness it.
It's under the vault.
Or bad.
So if he was indeed part of that, that's obviously not good for. I think the vault's been fine, but for the home theater division, the home theatrical division, but I don't think that was ever good because Disney's never allowed repertory bookings of their stuff. So for theaters, I don't think you can ever. I'm sure that will continue on, and it now applies to all the Fox stuff too.
No, the print counts and payments and terms are probably the thing that'll change in the near future.
Yeah.
Or
I don't think in the near future.
In the next 3 to 6 months, we may see.
Usually, you see a big change when they have a big film. Like they've introduced new terms or new policies when they've had a big film, and I just don't see a big one coming down. Maybe on Mulan, but that's a big maybe. And then after that,
if Black Widow doesn't do well, are we going to see Star Wars 10 in August? Star Wars Mandalorian, the movie.
Right, the movie.
Cut down to 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
That's an idea in their back pocket, though.
It's right there. They've already got it cut for 2.5 hours out of the 10 hours of episodes that they have. They're like, oh, we can do this in 2.5 hours.
Right. And then they're like, and then if they like this, you can see the rest on Disney Plus. Just all comes back around.
It's genius, I tell you.
Star Wars, the Baby Yoda saga.
Yeah.
The teenage years.
So yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye out on that. It's just so funny how he just was like, "Okay, I'm out." Just no
just
warning.
Happened on a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah. Okay, I found my successor. We're good.
And he didn't even announce it like it's going to happen. Like they made the deal that we made the deal that he is stepping away. Like it's not a thing that's gonna happen.
Nope.
It already has.
It's usually one of those kind of announcements where you find out later that charges have been filed.
Right.
I did wonder that in the back of my mind. I was like, did something
happen?
Is it Me Too Part 2? Like, is this what's about to happen?
But
I don't think that's
you're
the
ready
case
for
here.
that. But then it's like, oh, this is just like the old folksy, like he's retiring. He had 65 and it's
He's
over.
just a nice guy who just felt like he was done at work and it just wants to live a nice life with his grandkids. And you're like, what? That can't be
golden
right.
Parachute from Disney.
He's just looking out his window at the Disney Parks golf course and it's like, oh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
I could go out there on Mondays now.
So should we keep the conversation of Disney going with all these other topics?
Yeah. So what's next?
Well, Steven Spielberg decided that he doesn't want to direct Indiana Jones 5 anymore, so now the reins are being handed to James Mangold, who directed Logan and Ford versus Ferrari.
I am not sad. I think that Indiana Jones 4 was just so bad that I don't want anybody involved on that movie to be involved again, except for Harrison Ford.
I wouldn't blame that one on Spielberg. That was more of a Lucas idea that Spielberg kind of went with.
I know, but he went with it. It just it was so
but they're buds.
Horrible.
That's what you do for your pals.
I just
even
wish
the bad ideas.
That movie, we could take it and burn the master copy and have it never have existed.
We can still ignore it. This could be the real Indiana Jones 4.
Yeah.
All I remember about that movie was Shia LaBeouf was Indiana Jones' son, but not really. You're not 100% sure when you went into it. And then his name was Mutt.
Yeah, his name was Mutt.
No, that's accurate. That happened. And he swung in the trees with monkeys.
Yeah. They all swung in the trees.
Yeah.
We're not sure who his
With
dad
Nazis
is, and his
and
name
monkeys.
is. We're not sure his dad is, and his name is Mutt.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Mutt Jones.
Mutt Jones.
Doesn't have the nice ring to it.
He goes back to the first girl from the first movie. I don't remember her name.
I actually don't remember her name
I thought-
either.
I didn't really care about her.
Well, no one cared about that movie, so it's okay.
Like, you could have introduced a new female character. That would have been fine with me.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe another archaeologist that was just as smart, just as like a
His equal.
yeah, his
His
equal.
female equal.
That would have been awesome.
That's not how you portray women in movies, Cody.
Especially in that
I
franchise.
would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah, you remember Kate Capshaw?
I liked her.
She was
Yeah,
so...
she didn't try to. She
Just
wasn't
screaming
pretending
the
to,
whole time?
Yeah, to be anything other than that ditzy actress, and I liked it. She was
At
the
least she
best
stuck to her guns.
Yeah,
That's empowerment.
she had to put her hands through bugs. Ken,
She was
through
scared of her
bugs.
own shadow in that movie. It was
Yeah, well,
hilarious.
You
Yeah,
had to have
it is
it-
pretty funny.
A 12-inch centipede crawling on you. You'd probably be screaming your head off too.
In India. I'm pretty sure that happens in the Four Seasons
you-
in India.
I would probably pass out if I had to eat chilled monkey brains.
Sounds delicious.
No, I mean it did just look like Jello, but still gross. They pulled the top of the monkey's
it
head
still
off.
made her scream
That is actually.
or cringe.
I know people don't like that Temple of Doom, but I really like that one.
I still have a soft spot for it.
Yeah,
It was just her. It's just constantly screeching. It was...
yeah. And she tried to be seductive, and then she found a secret passageway by touching the booby statue.
Oh, that's right. She
Yeah,
did.
that's so good.
Maybe Temple of Doom was worse than Crystal Skull. No, it wasn't. But
No, it's not worse.
No, there have been
Way better.
adult versions of that movie that were better than the actual version. Just based on storyline alone.
No.
If you cut the nude scenes out. Crystal Skull?
Oh, Crystal Skull. Yeah,
Yes.
I thought you were talking about Temple of Doom.
No, I can't say the name of that on the podcast.
No,
would
you
not
can't.
be appropriate.
So yeah, I'm not sad he's gone. I hope this breathes some new life. So I just feel like Steven Spielberg on the last few movies hasn't really done a movie for modern audiences.
I think he's tried to, but he hasn't quite nailed it like he used to.
Right.
Like
I
with
just don't
past
know if
modern
he's
audiences.
in touch with them anymore.
No, was it Ready Player One where it had all the technology and really was
Yeah.
put forth as the new age of cinema and nobody saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It was okay, but it wasn't.
Steven Spielberg
It
was,
was
a
like
list
Yeah.
of...
an old man who never played video games making a video game movie.
Yeah, he was on a list of 5 directors that people would drop everything to see, and
Right.
nobody saw it. And it's just incredible that his name wasn't enough to at least push that out there to get it
Well,
some
good
attention.
to have good word of mouth, and he hasn't had a young person's film, I would say, forever. And I don't know. I don't know if he's the name anymore with younger people that he is with older people.
Do you think that's what Disney told him, or do you think he just wanted to step away to focus on other stuff?
I think he's still working on that West Side Story.
Yeah, he's doing
Film.
that and something else for sure. I can't
Yeah.
remember what else it is, but he's still working on West Side Story.
Yeah, I think he gets his adult passion projects, and he can do adult dramas now, and that's I think his wheelhouse. I don't think anything action-y or for all audiences or it's gonna work.
For like the modern times now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably the case. Like, I'm not sad about it either. It's just weird because there's just such a history of him
Right.
always doing an Indiana Jones movie, but James Mangold's a very good director to replace him, so
Right.
maybe they will work
Well,
out.
They biffed it on the last one, so I don't think they get to have
Again,
another
we'll
shot.
just ignore it.
We'll have to.
It's moving on.
So bad.
It's the rise of Skywalker of Indiana Jones movies where we just ignore everything that happened in the last one.
Right.
I'm weirdly okay with that.
Where's the Trevorrow version cut?
Where's the Trevorrow cut of
Yeah.
Indiana Jones?
Yeah. And then, speaking of Rise of Skywalker, there's some more new Star Wars movies. We're hearing every day of new ones being developed.
Yeah, Disney just hired a indie director and a writer from one of the Marvel Netflix shows to come up with a new Star Wars movie. I don't know if it's for the 2022 one or if it's for the Kevin Feige Star Wars movie that's supposed to happen, but all I know is that I heard Eric screams of agony
Right.
off in the distance.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Just end it. Just leave
Yeah.
it be. That's the only thing I could think of when hearing this news. Like, it's really not even news.
No.
Like, it's just them saying the obvious of what was going to
Right.
happen.
And at this point, I just feel like they don't know which way they want to go. They don't know if they want Star Wars to be a theatrical film or if they want it to be streaming, like TV series type.
Yeah, I think this one is supposed to be a movie, but again, like, it's up in the air on if it's for Disney Plus or theaters.
And we'll see. We'll see if these ones last.
Or both. It could be both.
They don't have a good track record with indie directors.
When it comes to, like, properties other than Marvel,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Until we have one that doesn't make $500 million, keep them coming all the time. I'll take one every month.
That's what they're saying
They
over
did.
there.
On screen.
I don't think Solo made $500 million.
I don't think so. Might have barely gone to 2 mil,
I think
250 maybe.
maybe 3 at the very, very most.
If it opens to, the off weeks that we have where somebody gets excited about a $20 million opening, $14 million opening, just throw a Star Wars in there. Star Wars 37.
And that'll ruin their day.
Yeah. It'll open to 20.
Unless it was Baby Yoda.
It'll open to $40 million and everybody will be very
$1 billion
happy.
opening.
So yeah, that's about all that we have for that one. But new Star Wars still obviously happening. So
Yeah. Poor Eric. Just
Yeah.
beating a dead horse. Well, then for upcoming stuff, we did watch a couple trailers. There's some new trailers dropping for some summer product this year. And Ken's excited about one of them.
Ken is actually excited about both of these because they look ridiculous in the best way possible. The one I am excited about is The Candyman. I grew up in a neighborhood where this was the horror movie that you watched. There wasn't in the annals of horror, there was Michael Myers and there was Jason Voorhees, but The Candyman stood alone as the scariest, most brutal killer of them all. So when
Is Candyman a metaphor for drug use?
absolutely,
And
Candyman
Son?
is a drug dealer. You would call him your candy man because he
Right.
gives you the candy.
Yeah. The good,
Yes.
The sweets.
Well, not,
Okay.
yes, I guess if you want to go like full Caucasian
Dessert.
slang. He brings the cinnamon rolls to the yard.
you're like, I know what that means. Drugs.
You get 5 peppermint sticks for a nickel.
It doesn't sound that scary when you do it like that.
But the trailer looks great. The casting all looks great. They did not. They didn't show the original Candyman from the trailer from the '93 movie, but I'm sure he'll make an appearance in cameos or as him transporting into the new character. But everything looks great. It's going to be one of these that's going to hit in cities more on the East Coast. That's going to do better for grossing. It's not going to be a Midwest movie or a West Coast movie, but it's going to have a home and a place when it does come out.
I don't like horror, so I didn't watch it, and I don't know anything about the Candyman because we talked, and our discussion was when I grew up, we had Bloody Mary. So is Candyman like Bloody Mary, where you say the name a certain amount of time and they're supposed to appear and get you?
You are required to say Candyman into a mirror 5 times, and then something horrible happens when you least expect it.
See,
Death.
I thought it was. So we had Bloody Mary, and I thought it was only 3 times in the mirror, in the dark.
In the dark, in the rain, on
I mean,
Tuesday, on one foot.
We can talk about the logistics of it all, but it's essentially the
Right.
same idea.
Okay.
Now, speaking movies that I was excited about were Candyman upcoming, but
Right.
the WWE has a movie coming out in cahoots with Paramount that's called Rumble about it's animated
Monster wrestling.
monster wrestling.
They're
And
monsters.
My 4-year-old is going to freak out when he sees
monsters
this.
and wrestling. Yeah, I looked at that. I watched that trailer and I was like, "Yep, the kids will love this one."
But will the kids remember it until like next year when it comes out? Like
No.
probably not until it's closer.
Yeah,
That's just what annoys me. I'm like, why release it this early when the target demographic of the 4-year-olds won't know won't know it's a thing until
It's not a sequel.
Toys.
There's no building. It's not
Yeah.
like the WWE is this huge brand in film.
yeah.
They have their own brand with Fighting with My Family that was last year that did well.
Yeah.
It was low budget
I'm
and
thinking
performed
it's
well.
toys and merchandising. They're going to get that stuff out there soon.
All summer, they're just going to
Yeah.
be...
Look at these cool monster
Honestly,
toys.
I could see that. They released the trailer like a year before its release date. I could easily see the toys popping up.
The animation looks questionable.
Every WWE like wrestling match, they're going to have Rumble toys off in the
Absolutely. They'll have
for all the merch on the
they'll
merch
have
tables.
guys in the costumes wrestling on stage.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome.
Okay, that
And then
part I
the-
would love to see.
And then the ring girls being like, oh,
With just a monster head on and the
Yep.
bikini.
on the bikini. Lots
No.
of advertising opportunities.
The animation looks questionable. The writing looks questionable. But the idea of the movie is
I thought
great.
that
It's
the
an
monsters
animated,
looked cool, though. I thought they all looked great. I don't think the animation was that bad.
When it went to the people, it was questionable. It looked like that
Yeah.
kind of like...
Cheaper people design, but I think that's
Cheap
because they.
Pixar.
I think that's because they focused on the monsters, so they look good.
Yeah, they look great and very relatable and cute, and it's going to be awesome.
It does have the right target demographic for sure, especially on a release date in the early part of next year. That'll be smart.
Yes, it is next year, though.
Yes, I still can't get over they have a plan, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's just weird. I don't get it.
It's Pacific Rim on candy from the Candyman.
From the Candyman. I'll have to watch that trailer. I don't really want to, though.
Cody's from like Mayberry. They probably literally had a Candyman, a guy that walked around or
Yeah,
drove
just-
a truck. And
just
like,
on a truck
Oh, the
and he's-
Candyman's here.
We had the old-fashioned candy store growing up. Where they made rock candies.
Only
and
proves the point.
They
I
they
was joking about
pulled
the
their own
peppermint
taffy.
sticks for a nickel, but it was real.
Yeah. It was like penny candy. You're laughing, but I loved the old-fashioned candy store. I even remember the jingle from the commercial.
Okay.
Old-fashioned candy store. For where something in quality.
Well, you almost remembered it.
Taste our homemade candy, and you'll be back for more.
Well, that song was definitely not
Something
in
and
this new
treats at the
Candyman
old-fashioned
trailer.
candy store. Okay, I was like 5 when those commercials came out.
And that's why I fell in love with her, folks, for that beautiful singing voice
Yes.
right there.
Yeah,
Right there, that's
my
what
children
pulled
love
me
it
in.
too.
So should we
My
talk about
enthusiasm.
this weekend's upcoming releases
Yeah,
then,
so
or?
the only wide release this weekend is Invisible Man.
Oh, okay.
And
Did not know that.
Yep. It's kind of an odd weekend. And then next week we got Onward. And
Yeah.
what else we
Be
have?
prepared for
The Way
Onward.
Back with
The Way Back.
alcoholic Ben Affleck. I mean,
Sober.
Ben Affleck acting like an alcoholic while
Yeah.
he's sober. Maybe.
Allegedly.
This is hitting really close to home for Ben Affleck. And he's
I
not
think
shying
so.
away from that on the press tour. He's like,
Yeah.
I've had a drinking problem.
There's a lot
We're like,
of
no shit.
there's a lot of therapy going on during these junkets where he's like,
That is
all of a
true.
sudden-
I have noticed that.
I've never heard of Ben Affleck's father. I kind of assumed it was Bruce Willis from Armageddon.
That's his father-in-law.
Father-in-law. I assumed that guy was like floating around where he was like on oil drilling rigs and that was Ben
Yeah.
Affleck's father. Turns out he's just another really tall alcoholic, just like Ben Affleck.
Oh, crazy. No, I think it'll be good, but yeah, I think Ben Affleck is the most interesting thing is his press tour on this.
That is true. Like I
He
cannot shy
really
away from all the interviews
Does
that he's
have a
been
huge
doing.
back tattoo. I can't get over that.
What's it of?
A phoenix rising from the ashes.
Why?
I don't know.
Because-
He's talked about it. He's
Ben,
like,
you're
yeah,
not 30 yet, or not even
He's
30.
like,
You're
no,
not 20 anymore.
it's not a fake one for a movie. It's real. We're like, we all knew it was real. You were like at the ocean. Your droopy George board shorts and your huge back tattoo.
Ben.
Oh, Ben. This is why drinking is bad, kids. Do not drink.
Yes, yes, that is a very good example,
Right.
actually.
He's a movie star who makes millions of dollars. I can't disagree with that. If you're an artist, drink all you want.
At least drink responsibly, as
Kent
much
just
as you want.
has a soft spot for Ben Affleck because people have said he looks like Ben Affleck.
This is actually a true story.
Yeah.
This happened at...
So
I
whatever
was-
we say, Kent takes it a
I
little
was-
personally.
I was in line. The woman in front of me decided to tell me that I look like Ben Affleck when Cody was standing behind me not paying attention. So I embarrassed the woman in front of me by telling her, could you please repeat that for me? My wife is standing right here and I do not think she heard you. I need you to tell it to her face so she hears it from your face.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like, oh no, because he's always said, oh, people think I look like Ben Affleck. I'm like, I don't see it.
I can see it a little bit.
It's in the jaw. I finally figured it out. It's in the jawline.
I think so.
But he's a
Hand me a
blonde
scotch
version.
on the rocks, you'll definitely see
Yeah.
it.
Someone grab a Batman mask, put it on.
Yeah. Where's that cowl? Let's see if your jaw matches up.
Ken would have made a great Batman.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you could strap the rubber abs on the front. That'd be much better. I definitely look closer to Ben Affleck's Batman than
Do you think
Christian
that
Bale's.
the Batmans talk like this because they're so tight in that rubber suit that they can't,
No,
their
it's the-
diaphragms can't
It's
move?
the cigarettes that you smoke.
When they're off stage.
Oh, okay.
You think Robert Pattinson's going to give up smoking to play Batman? He's going to be just as gravelly at 145 pounds.
He's probably going to smoke more to make it
Probably is
possible.
only like 140 pounds. He's so skinny.
It's really cool. They're making a teenage girl version of Batman. I really think that's great. It's going to apply to a different demographic.
Yeah, that's true. Forgot about that.
I'm so glad Batman has gadgets. Otherwise, you'd never believe that he could pull himself up a rope without it doing it automatically from a gun.
He's gonna talk the Penguin to death. The Penguin's end up shooting himself
Yeah.
on film. He's like, just stop talking. Wah, wah.
Terrible. Who is the Penguin in that movie, by the way? Is that Paul Dano or is that Colin Farrell?
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell's
Yes.
the Penguin. Paul Dano's the Riddler.
Oh God.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah,
Not Paul Dano.
I know.
He's great.
Who was it going to be? Jonah Hill. And then
It was, Jonah Hill was going to be either one of those characters.
Yeah.
Paul Dano is a great actor. I have no reason to ever see Paul Dano recorded on film ever again in my life. Oh, he's so hard to look at.
Another real uggo.
God, what is with you people and just calling out ugly actors?
Those two together, him and Elizabeth Moss, would create one really unsymmetrical baby.
Asymmetrical?
Asymmetrical's like perfect, right?
I thought that was symmetrical.
Symmetrical. They would create a very asymmetrical child.
Like our brain trust over here.
Yeah. Yep. We're working together here.
We're raising children together.
Oh my God.
And they're gorgeous.
They're very, very handsome, nice gentlemen.
Yes. Don't ask about their test scores.
Their preschool test scores.
That's right.
Not the
Yeah.
best test scores, but looks will get you a long ways in life.
Hopefully. Cross my fingers.
That's what happens when you bring Ben Affleck to the gene pool.
Ben Affleck's blonder doppelganger.
Get what you pay for.
Yes, that's true.
All right, should I sign us on out of here?
Yeah,
Let's wrap
I think
this
that's
up.
it for the weekend.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening to the Off the Break podcast. You can find us all on the podcast platforms and over at Silver Screen Insider. And be sure to check out our website where if you're a theater owner or manager needing updated and accurate information, you can come right over there.
Come on over.
Come on over.
Come on over. Oh my God, Christina Aguilera just popped in my head. Come on over, baby.
That's a song I haven't heard in a long time.
We should end every episode with Cody singing. From now on forever.
No, I'm just
Thank
in
you for
that mood.
And Ken is done.
Ken is out. We lost Ken. All right. Well, have a good weekend, everyone.
See you guys.